My hair, I'm still in the braiding process of my hair. Oh, a car is rolling past. I'm still in the process of rebraiding my hair, so that's why it looks like it looked shabby or whatnot. And the wind is blowing because there was a lot of noise going on in the house, and so I had to step outside or whatnot. But yeah, I want to ask a illogical question just because it's not logical, right? And one of those questions is, let me see. Well, I got one that's about, it's titled Basketball Dreams, right? And that was pertaining to, because when I first started, see, I had made like a lot of notes in the beginning when I was questioning everybody pertaining to Asia Degree's case, right? Like Sheriff Allen, like he stated, to keep Asia Degree case alive, which is like what so many of us are doing with blogs and podcasts. And then you got the web sleuth or whatnot. But I just like to ask at all sides. So yeah, so when I was first taking my notes, one of the first questions I had, something had popped up in my head. I don't know what it was, and no, it wasn't common sense. It was just a random illogical thing. Like, you know how when you're like putting pieces together and you're like, well, this don't make sense and that don't make sense, and then something just pops out as a clue, but it might not even be a clue. It just might be something random. That's what in fact happened to me. I was looking through like all my notes and stuff like that. Yes, these right here are old notes, which I should have did in the beginning, but I didn't. But anyway, forgiveness on that. But a male figure had popped out in my head, and I don't know why that is. Like, of course, pertaining to, like I stated what I stated on who could have did what, right? That's just my basic thinking pertaining to what could have happened, right? But I'm questioning everybody. I'm repeating again, because to repeat is to mention clarity, right? But I don't know why it was a male figure when I first did all these videos that had popped in my mind, like a black male figure that was bald. Strange as it sounds. So I had to, yeah, so I had wrote that down. So I said, because see, I don't like to do everything by memory, because even memory is faulty. Memory is, in fact, how some people, they get on camera, right, and they'll do stuff. You can mess up with memory and you can mess up without it, as in free thought as well. But sometimes I like to have the notes because, oh, a deputy just rode past. Ain't that cool? Yes, he did. I like to have notes because it helps with everything. It keeps everything in order pertaining to where I can fall off the tracks on my end, right? I don't like to just go by memory, because sometimes you can lock stuff away in the back of your memory bank and start messing up. So notes, and they in fact help with structure. Yes. So I said, I wonder if Asia herself was ever seen or known to be around a black male figure who could have been bald, as in a bald head figure, black male figure, right? Bald head with muscles, and say could have been around the age of 40s or 50s or possibly younger. This sounds completely illogical, and yet I'm going to take it there, because I just was wondering, how did that just pop up in my head as I was looking over everything, trying to find out clues, scoping out clues to see what could have happened to this young child. So I said, I wonder if Asia herself was ever seen or known to be around a black male figure who could have been bald with muscles, somewhat around the age of 40s or 50s or possibly younger. So maybe late 20s, early 30s, somewhere. But it's just, you know how you see stuff. You see it when you're looking through stuff. We all are human beings, and I'm heavily visually oriented, right? Which is why I'm able to produce stuff pertaining to like TV, film, resolution right here on YouTube as well. But let me see. And I said, and so a male figure and somewhat mid-size, such as not too slender and not too heavy. Yeah, these notes is old, because this is what I said, even though they're old. Because the other day I was online and a vague visual slapped me upside the head. Yes, it did. of what I just described, such as a black male, bald, somewhat muscular on the arms. He had on a jersey. That's what struck me more than anything, because I was online looking up stuff and piecing stuff together and trying to figure out. But you know, when you're like doing a whole bunch of stuff do randomly pop out. And I just thought that was so strange. I thought that was completely strange. So hold on. And what was strange to me more than anything, because as I was sitting there doing what I was doing, you know, it just, I don't know. Because let me say how I actually seen it when I was doing it, whatever. So I'm like sitting there online doing whatever, and I'm making my notes or whatever, and I just seen like this man, yes, somewhere around his mid 40s or somewhere around that, or a little bit younger. I couldn't really see completely in the face, but he was like a completely bald figure. He had muscles on his arms, was somewhat muscular, and he was on a bicycle, as in riding a actual bicycle. Yes, he was. Which is why I should have in the beginning questioned the coach. But I'm thinking, if the coach, let me see, because when I seen that visual, the man had on a jersey like the same makeup like Asia had on, which was strange to me in itself. Maybe it was the universe telling me, and me questioning everybody, maybe I should not forget about questioning the coach. Maybe that's what that was. Because I don't even think I questioned the coach. Did I question the coach? I don't think I did. Sometimes you gotta be keenly aware to your senses, as in even the direction of where you go, and sometimes where you actually forget to elaborate. Sometimes us human beings need to be brought back to our senses of areas descriptive wise where we forget. I didn't even question the coach. Let me get up right quick, because this sun is like hot. Hold on one second. I in fact failed to question the coach because there was more reason behind me not doing that, and I stated why. But I think if Asia had a coach, could he have been a black male? I don't know why I would think that he would be a white older male and not necessarily bald. Let me fix this lighting pertaining to that. As the sun trying to shine through. I wish I could have recorded in the house, but with all that noise going on, the racket, the dogs, and on the phone. So anyways, yeah, so I'm thinking, if Asia had a coach, I don't know why I'm thinking he would have been a much more older white figure, male, right? Maybe I should decipher that a little bit more pertaining to the coach. Because see, the work all the way around this thing, a Asia degree case, is to just look around to see what you can actually peek through on pertaining to even the coach, as in his size, his figure, his potential, what type of individual he could have been. Because see, no one even knows that. If the coach walked right past me today, I probably wouldn't even know it was him, because to not know is to that's the only thing I don't like about missing persons things. That's the only frustrating part, is when you're trying to piece stuff, you don't have nothing to go off on. Like, well, who is who, and who is this person, and this and this and that. Like, only if police in this day and age would interview those individuals where the public could see. That goes completely against security, right? Is that a breach of security, or isn't it? Pertaining to personal space, I think it is. But I'm just saying, anytime you're trying to clue and size up with something, when you don't have like interview on video or something pertaining to the individuals who could have played a part in a mess, such as a child going missing, it's kind of hard. Even on that, the abstraction tip, or say even a coach or somebody. Even a coach or somebody, because my thing is he white? Is he black? Like, what is he? What's the nationality? Well, they say Caucasian. So many people say Caucasian. Whatever you have it. But guilt, in fact, comes in all sizes and shapes and ornaments and all that, right? But I just thought that was just vaguely weird. Because I'm thinking to myself, who would in fact have privilege and even guidance pertaining to Asia's life with that sort of measurement in which I called out? The description: a black male figure, bald, somewhere possibly in his mid-40s. He could possibly have even been in his late 20s and 30s and yet look much more older. Look like a grown man. And had muscles. Riding, prone to know to ride bikes, as in bicycles. You gotta be rather wise to like go all the way outside, as in not just staying in the box asking stuff, right? Because as I sit here and I think, well, what if Asia Degree's coach was in fact black? You see what I'm saying? That would in fact be proof on my end, but not enough. I'm trying to pinpoint. What if Asia Degree's coach was in fact black? And what if it was in fact a male that had somewhat of a slight bald head? That would be that right there. I'm saying that FBI saw this video and I said something like that. That would in fact be like insightful in itself. As in me being all the way over here in another whole state and county, and yet being able to see into that sort of thing. But as in the coach being black, a middle-aged man would say slight bald hair and somewhat muscular. But I thought that was so odd, because I was like, wait a minute. When I was thinking that, see, I got one photo of Asia. I try to keep them on my phone. I try to keep them on the hard drive, keep them on my phone. I try to keep them around pertaining to when I make videos and I upload them, or if I'm going to put something online where I want to say a comment about something pertaining to just missing children or just her case, period. I try to keep that sort of thing. But it's one particular photo that stands out the most, in which I didn't even really pay attention to until I saw that visual. I had to literally go back in my phone to see if the photo was there, and then go back and Google. Yes, Google search pertaining to when she had on that, it was like the bluish t-shirt. No, it was the purple t-shirt with the bluish jersey over the actual purple t-shirt. When I saw the man in my visual, as I was doing everything, putting everything, trying to piece whatever together, I in fact saw a grown man with that same type of, I mean, how strange is that? Some stuff be so strange, because I'm a strange individual, that's probably why. But I just thought that was so weird, because when I saw it, I said, no, I need to go back and see right quick, because that's the only photo of Asia with that jersey on. So why would a man be coming to my mind looking like that with that same jersey on? That was just so strange. And so here we are right here in the questioning. But I didn't write enough pertaining to even him, because it's hard to decipher on that, for the simple fact you don't know whether the coach is black or white, and I'm sensing he in fact is a white individual. I'm sensing the coach is more than likely an older white man and not black. Asia's coach is more than likely a white older man and not black. Because if I knew what in fact race he is, I would more than likely be able to size even him down pertaining to even this, what I saw. So I was like, what the hell was that? What the hell is that? See, to be highly visually oriented sometimes is to just see, not see. There, I see stuff in photograph because I do TV and film. And not only that, I take a lot of pictures, right? My camera, did I show my camera? And so I'm just visually all the way in visually. But that came to my face like boom, like a snapshot. And it wasn't like it was here. How some people, that's not a hallucination. No, it's not. That right there is not in fact a hallucination. It's almost like how I just take this camera and I look at myself. It was like that. How am I seeing some black male figure with a bald head? Was there any, well, let me question like this. Even the family would know even that. That right there, I could be right, I could be wrong, I could be anything, right? I'm wondering if, let me just put it like this. I'm wondering if Asia has ever spent her time amongst or around anybody that was, say, a black male figure with a bald head that had muscles and was prone to ride bicycles sometimes. And instead of me saying the age of 40, 50s or whatever, we can drop the age down, like lower the age. Or say somebody in their 20s, their 30s, and then going up to 40s. Because there are in fact black male individuals, figures, and all the rest who are known to in fact still ride bicycles, even in middle-aged men, as an exercise and all the other stuff. Yes, they do. And then you got some that in fact that don't have cars, right? They don't have cars, and so some of them, that's not saying that's childlike and petty to be a middle-aged man to ride a bike, or even be 20 years old or 30 years old and still ride a bike. Because when I seen this masculine figure, he was in fact on a actual bike and not a child bike, an actual grown man bike. And I don't mean 10 speed from back in the 1970s. It looked more of like a mountain bike somewhat, but I could descriptively see somewhat of the handlebars on that bike. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. It helps to be highly descriptive. So that's what I'm just wondering. If Asia, is there any cousins, any relatives, uncles? I wonder how Asia's uncle looked. This going all the way out of character. As in when some people say, oh, you're going completely out of bounds, and I don't even care about that. Because, the question is just that. There's nothing wrong with questioning. A simple mind will tell you not to question. They don't even know and understand how the world operates. Simple-minded people, I'm saying. They tell you, oh, leave that alone. Don't question that. Don't go there. But then when they find out the fact of what happened all outside, out here in the world, they be totally shocked. Simple-minded people. At what could possibly happen. There's possibilities every day in life, let me tell you. There's all type of possibilities in this world that so many human beings have never even touched on. Possibilities. Even when you think something may not have happened and yet possibly could or can. Even in being on the way. Or things like that. People that doubt. That's for those individuals, simple-minded individuals, that they're so trapped in the box they can't see outside of the box, pertaining to even possibilities pertaining to their own life, as in what could be better and what could serve human. See, because all this, any person like me taking the time to scope out a measurement and question in relation to any of, because see, look, Oprah Winfrey has in fact did the coverage. The Oprah Winfrey show has done the coverage on the Asia Degree case, right? The OWN network link is provided below. Investigation Discovery, they in fact did coverage on Asia as well. They're in fact, her face is in fact on the milk carton on one of their websites. Yes, it is Asia Degree. Investigation Discovery, the link is provided below, right? So me saying what I said is, it just helped not to be closed-minded. I can't sit too long around closed-minded people, because they'll question, well, why would you want to take it there? I'm like, well, why not? No, they'll say, why would you want to take it there? And I'm thinking, well, why not? Because see, my thing is this: to serve humanity as a whole is just to do that, and you don't sit back with your mouth closed, just sitting there. That's why, you know what? That's in fact why people are going missing and being killed and murdered and put in sex trafficking and all stuff like that, because simple-minded, closed-minded individuals, they don't play their part in life, is what I'm trying to say. They just rather sit back and then just be quiet or be silent until something happens in their own family or in their own four walls of their own home, and then all of a sudden they want to be all over the place, getting everybody else involved. Well, it's a little bit too late. Then you should have paid attention before, because it's all about paying attention in the first place. Paying attention. paying attention. What is people in society? What do they represent for one? And not only that, how are many of them serving humanity as a whole? I'm just wondering, because see, the whole thing makes no sense for me to sit right here on camera, right? Knowing I got access to all type of whatever on a camera and even online, because to be able to float all around the world via online, right? Or even mass media, whatever. It's to say you use that for that sort of thing and not for stupid petty stuff. I'm almost branding that. How many times I said the stuff when I make a rant, even in my videos that have definition and meaning, is to throw the rant in it, because it's to have people speak up and be more vocal about these sort of things, right? And play your part to humanity, and quit faking and acting like you're playing your part when you really don't serve anything to humanity as a whole. That's why the world is in fact falling apart, corrupt, and everything else as is. Because people won't step in line. They won't march in line and be the purebred soldiers many of them are so called to be by even the universe itself. If you're not going to be a soldier, step out of the way for individuals, for me and everybody else which is willing to be bold enough to take a chance and be courageous in even that. Because I will step all over a hater's head, face, and everything else trying to sort pieces, even what happened to missing children, because I can care less about that sort of thing pertaining to who gets mad in the questioning. Because if you can't solve, I was checked about that the other day, and I say it again, if you can't solve, move out the way. Nobody wants to see you or possibly even hear you, and that's the truth. So, because I can't be nice, that is in fact not my character. I'm a bold, I'm a highly, what's the word for it? I've been known to kick people off my stuff because that is in fact my place in life. Sometimes to piss people off where they feel to face real life. They feel to face real life. So I'm not going to be sweethearted. So if you don't like that or my character, then you can in fact leave, because I'm not changing for anyone. And I'm totally not how some people live, undecided. I ain't that either. I decide what I want and I go for what I want. I can't be all like how some of these individuals are all soft spoken. Oh, don't say that. Oh, don't. No, that's not me. That is in fact not me. That is completely not me, and not will it ever be me, because I've always been this way even at a young age. This sort of attitude and mindset in fact gets a lot of things done, let me tell you. Even pertaining to Discovery over there and their business. To have a bold mind like this and to be in a male dominant figures where they would rather step on a woman's face to get to where they got to go. Males in the industry. It's to know you got to be like me. Not cowardly. You got to be courageous in even what you want to say, because people will step on you and be on out. And even that, the business aspect. I don't like all that sweet fluff. Is that what they call it nowadays? Sweet fluff of putting on this. I can't do that 24 hours a day. That in fact drained me. Of this fake. Because see, what I noticed, not trying to get off a topic, but let me say what I'm going to say. What I notice about a lot of these women and sometimes men out here is the fact that they'll stand amongst you, right, in conversation, and then before they come in conversation with you, they done stood and had a conversation with whoever, and they'll say, oh, because, you know, they're all sweet and fluff with them, right? But then once they move out the person's face, they come over to you, want to talk for miles on end, talking about how much they hate that person. And I'm thinking to myself, because how I am, I tell people I hate them to their face. Because that's nothing to be, I'm saying that's something you don't hide. If you don't like a person, you should in fact tell them, as in let them know. Because to be in a relationship with people that you don't like and you in fact hate would in fact pose problems on even your life. As in, you're sitting up saying, well, I can't stand such and such, and then you go home bitter, thinking about when you should have told them to their face how much you dislike them and hate them. as you're walking around telling other people, that sort of thing should in fact be seen as an express, because that's what's wrong with the world today. People are walking around sugarcoating everything and not facing reality, as well as faking the funk on even that. Say how you feel about people and let them know. You get what I'm saying? With Asia Degree family, they might in fact be pissed, right? But if they know they innocent, they can be willing to forgive me on that. Asia Degree's family, yes. If they know that I'm, first of all, you gotta have confidence within yourself. That is even a dedication to Asia Degree family and her brother, her mother, father, everybody else that live on her block. If you're confident in yourself, there's no need to even be pissed off about me, because remember, I don't live in the same state, city, county, or none of that. I'm just an obstructive viewer, and what I mean by that, I'm on the outside looking in from far away, as in who could have did this, right? Pertaining to this situation, right? But I can be completely wrong, and how many times have I said that? But to be this bold is to just say what I think as in feel. Because if I didn't care at all about an Asia Degree, I wouldn't say nothing at all. I would be like all the rest of these people, and a lot like many of these celebrities that have power that ain't looking out for missing children. Because see, number one should in fact be confident, bold celebrity figures getting on this camera like I am, Kanye West and all the rest of them, instead of entertaining the petty. They should in fact be the number one people, like Oprah Winfrey has done, got on the camera and say that they're trying to in fact find a Asia Degree. So it shows that I in fact care, despite me offending many people, including the Degree family, right? That is not my intention, to rip and shred people. Yes, the family. That is completely not my intention. Because if I showed before I cried on camera, which shows that I care about the child, that sort of thing cannot be fake. It cannot ever be fake. Because this whole mess is just bothersome in itself. Whether it was purpose, whether it was accident, this whole Asia Degree case is bothersome in itself, and it has to be. Because see, to be even 9 years old and be a member of society is to know someone somewhere should in fact value you. Yes, value you. And not be throwing you away however the situation played out. Somebody has to come along besides all these petty ass celebrities that are just focused on when whoever got mad because I said a lot of these women don't have brains, and whoever is offended can stay offended. Because my thing is, if Kim Kardashian can walk around, or whoever, showing off how pretty they are, they can in fact place themselves on a panel as well, showing off a lot of these missing children, as in trying to pull a piece stuff to see what could have happened. But it shows all they care about is themselves. Yes, Kim Kardashian and all the rest of them. That's all they care about. They care about petty things, which is why I can't be found and seen with petty people no time of the day. I hope I didn't slash no tires with that one. But I'll stay bold as is, pertaining to even this Asia Degree case. Who don't like my mouth, they just need to walk away. Because there's in fact value. A human life, if it's no longer here and is never to be found, a missing person who could have walked away, a Asia Degree, or maybe never stepped foot out the house, is to say human life is there. And how would a God or universe or whoever created this world feel about so many of us if we just let so many of these children, say, be dragged to their death or whatever else? I'm in question of that. I'm completely in question of that. More so than pertaining to the coach. I'm just in question of that. What is human life about if you ain't serving no purpose? Yes, serving a purpose. Because see, young children like an Asia Degree and all the rest of these missing children, they don't have a voice. Mothers and fathers can only do so much, which is why we in fact have child advocates, but they can only do so much. Society is so downgraded and damn-graded. That's a new word for y'all that want to be hip out here in life. It's damn-graded pertaining to people not getting involved enough even in that. Which is why maybe America is in fact so miserable. When it's stated 89% of Americans are in fact depressed and on medicine and all this other stuff, or using crack and heroin to escape life. Well, maybe you wouldn't need to do that sort of thing if you were in fact playing your part to society. That's funny. And yet it's in fact a truth, because I am prone to laugh in people's faces who can't face reality, even mine sometimes of the day, when I seem like I fail and can be a failure sometimes at not facing what is completely there. A lost cause is not playing your part here in society. So let me go back. That was a rant, and it needed to be. I need to go on CNN so I can make a more bigger rant, because some of these people are in fact losing out on life because they're not playing their position. They're not. And I don't mean point guard. Asia Degree was in fact a point guard. I got this girl almost figured down to a science just relation to her, because see, if you value human life, you will take the time to try to sort. Knowing the identity of a child. When somebody say, well, you are becoming too obsessive in what you're doing. Well, what are you doing? I'm saying the individual, when they say it, you can go back and forth on Twitter, right? With certain individuals, something I choose not to do, because I can actually call out and point out losers from failures, as in the loser mentality, right? Losers and failures. It helps to, in fact, be obsessive is what I'm trying to say. Somebody called me out on that last year pertaining to that Janet Jackson situation, pertaining to some marketing and abstraction in relation to mass media, right? Because with everything I do, I am prone to be completely highly obsessive, which is why I am in fact successful. Because to never be obsessive at anything, I'm saying, if you are being obsessive with something and it's posing health issues, say such as you not feeling up to par after you get done doing something, then maybe you need to take a break, or maybe that sort of thing isn't for you. But if you stop being obsessive because other people want you to, then you are more likely not going to get any further in life than them, which is where many of them would in fact want you to be. The failure aspect. There's in fact a failure rate, let me tell you. There's in fact a failure rate here in American society, let me tell you. You gotta pick something, even if it's one thing, and be totally obsessive about that. Go ask Steve Jobs, God rest his soul, with that. I hope that no dog pee where I'm sitting at by this tree, because it do smell like dog piss. Need an air freshener for even that. But you got to be obsessive at what it is you do. Because the reason why I'm saying that is because if you're not obsessive, when I went back and forth on Twitter last year pertaining to what it is I do, the marketing aspect, if you're not obsessive enough, you would in fact give up on the bad days. That's why you got to be obsessive at everything it is you do. So when it comes to marketing, mass media, pertaining to everything in relation to me and my identity, investigation, discovery, hello. But pertaining to even the Asia Degree case, I must, yes, be obsessive about this as well. This goes in with just that. Because see, somebody somewhere is not taking the time to even recite some clues even pertaining to this young child. You see what I'm saying? Anything could have happened. The child could have been sold into some sex trade or something like that. More than likely possibly didn't happen. But yet and still you have to be anytime you're going to step to anything and give life, be obsessive with even that. Because that's what makes you so different. And not only that, it helps you stand out. It shows that there's in fact a dedication, commitment pertaining to service. That's what it in fact shows. And I love to be the example pertaining to that. If whoever did this to Asia, even if they never go to jail, at least I can say, even if Asia Degree's body is never found and whoever did it never goes to jail, at least I can say I played my part to society, humanity as a whole, more than anything, humanity. I gave life where it was deserved to be given back to. You see what I'm saying? Oh, to keep somebody's name in your mouth is to in fact give life to that person. And I said even that before. So let me ask something. Let me go to, should I make I think I'm going to make this, because that rant was so long, I'm going to make that on another video. Pertaining to a locksmith. A locksmith Has anybody ever questioned that? I mean, I think that's the only thing I don't like about life. The human value pertaining to the add up and the devastation. Why don't more people sit back and ask more valuable questions? Why is that? You can't sit being programmed forever. You can't be programmed forever and blame other people, as in saying, well, they have, you know, mind control over. No, because if you want to get rid of mind control, you in fact throw the TV out the window. If you got an alley or something next to your bedroom window or living room window, throw the TV out there. Throw it in the garage. Throw it somewhere. That's as simple as that. That's in fact an excuse of why people don't sit and question. Because see, I'm the type of individual, I would in fact go in the dark on my end in my bedroom and question certain things that don't seem right, and question everything pertaining to even life itself, even human existence, about the universe. How well does the sun affect even the universe, and even us pertaining to spirituality? Good days, bad days, human connection in relation to energies that you shouldn't be around, and how they negatively affect you, as in when you trying to shine and they're trying to outshine you, or when they want to actually douse something on you pertaining to taking your shine down a few notches just so that they can come. It's all type of things, right, that people should in fact question and see and analyzation, and just don't be saying, well, I'll let mass media dictate my thoughts, feelings, and what I'm going to buy. There's right and wrong in that, right? I'm thinking if you want to be a follower, because so many in American society are, you want to be a follower, then go ahead and do that. But what are you serving in that? As in being a follower, following behind people that say are helping to dictate your thoughts and mold you, but not allowing you to breathe and be yourself, right? What is in that? That's in fact a loss, because I feel like I come across completely arrogant, and I should, because see, to allow somebody else to lead you and in a decision making process, it's to know sometimes you have to think for yourself, even in choices, right? People don't think like me, which is why a lot of them disagree with me, and maybe they should, because I feel like my point in position is to teach so many people how to be themselves. Even in that, stop walking around letting people tell you, no, you shouldn't, no, sorry, I should. Because the vocalists, the lights have went out. The vocalist people, vocalist children, yes, vocalist children more than anything, the missing children, their lights have went out, as in blown out. And I don't mean by ways of a rapture. I'm saying people taking them and doing whatever, even if it's brutally murdered or whatever. Even sheltered people. So I gotta say what I'm going to say. Mayday. And then what I said last year, I said that on Twitter last year, Mayday. Yes, you gotta sometimes speak vulgar about certain things. Whoever can't handle it. I live in reality with real adult people that are able to handle the adult mouthpiece set such as mine. Because if I'm going to be talking all soft or whatever, and that, I might as well just be laid up with children myself somewhere. Holding hands, I'm saying, not in nobody's bedroom, but holding hands. If people can't take the way that I talk, that's a subliminal message for those that can't read right through. I'm saying if I'm going to hold a conversation with somebody and they can't take anything that I say because it's bold and analytical, then that is in fact on them. Because when something happens to one of their children and they can't take it, I don't want to hear about it when it happens. As in, don't bring it around me as it's happening. Because you failed to face real life. pertaining to other people's lives. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that type of stuff. I ain't never liked that type of stuff. I'm gonna take it all the way there because that's what I do. I'll take it all the way there. I have a domineering mindset. What was that? When I stated about molestation pertaining to Asia, and no, molestation, sexuality, and more so religion, and people were offended by that, they gotta stay offended. Yes, I'm repeating again, I'm rehashing over that same thing, the thinking process. They gotta stay offended. If they unsubscribe, undownload, they gotta stay offended. Because if you don't value a child's life, then that's shame on you. As in pertaining to what I said, the possibilities of who could have did what. Because see, you gotta understand, it's all a value system in the first place. And I don't mean money, nickels, dimes, and quarters in a dime bag beating up against something, right? If you don't value human life, you can in fact take what other people are saying, exposing the truth. That is in fact a failure mindset. That is in fact a failure mindset, dear God, universe, or whatever. There is no shame and no shun in just what I stated. If you don't value a young Asia degree, that in fact shows something is wrong with you. Because I'm willing to in fact overlook the family, but not completely, but even call out religion where it meets molestation, even pertaining to the area of Catholic priests going down and putting their hands down in children's pants. That sort of thing got to in fact be exposed. Because that's why millions and hundreds of thousands or whatever on a yearly basis of children's going missing. Pertaining to, say, somebody that is in a family, and I don't mean pertaining to parents and custody battles and all that, but molestation charges as well. So if you can't face that, then that shows a problem with you. That shows no value towards the young girl herself. You see what I'm saying? That in fact shows no value, and I don't have respect for those sort of people. I'm sorry. As even the universe is my witness, I don't have respect for those type of people that can't face real life pertaining to the real things that is happening to individuals. See, I think what needs to happen out here in society is all the people that can't take what a real individual like me say. I think some of that devastation, pain, and hurt needs to in fact happen to you, the viewer. Whoever don't agree with when I said, well, religion, you don't agree with the fact that I said people can in fact use religion to cover and house, yes, many races of people are in fact failures. Certain ones that choose to be failure and use races, blame other folks and all that other stuff for their mishaps. Those failures got to in fact come up in life. They can't always use excuses. Because see, there's in fact many white men out here that are in fact, they face their own hang-ups. Yes, they do in fact. Many white male figures in fact face their own hang-ups, just like many black males should. Because see, that's not right, and it's completely unfair to American society for a white man to go to work every day dressed up in a suit, or say blue collar, whatever you want to call it, or working at factory somewhere industry wise, and he forced to get up, and he know at times he's a failure and can deal with it, but a black man can't. He needs to in fact be called the black man that can't face his own. He needs to in fact face the failure rate, and even that. Stop blaming other people. I don't like any of whatever. So let me call people out, because it looks shameful on my end for me to even. That's why I'm not around those type of people, pertaining to the people that can't face their own failure. That's why you can't get ahead in life. They're losers. People know why they're losers, and they in fact need to be called out, even on this Asia degree video pertaining, because that is just that. I'm going to in fact share this video on Facebook as well as Twitter, and all the losers in fact need to see just that. I'm not closing my mouth for nothing, because I know full blown there is many individuals that don't want me in the industry because of my sex, being a female, right? And many women, even with that, people try to shun you. So I'm bold where other people, they say I'm heartless. I can't be that heartless. I'm showing a child pertaining to her being missing or whatever, right? But it just is what it is. Stop being a loser. Dear people here amongst humanity, that just blows my mind. It completely blows my mind how you like be online on these social media accounts and people walk around showing how they're having a good time in life, right? And then when they get home, they're all distraught and depressed. Yes, their life after they done had a good time. They sit on social media after they done had a good time and then they're all distraught and depressed because they're not doing anything. Didn't I just say that? They're not doing anything. They're not serving no Asia degree. They ain't serving many of these other missing cases out here. Even if it's not that, they ain't doing anything else to serve. I'm saying going to work and go home, that's not enough. You need to, in fact, be placing yourself out there somewhere pertaining to helping something. To play a cause is to, in fact, be a boss. And you would, in fact, be less unhappy. There's no animation in that. It's not. It's a scratch through all the way, even with that, pertaining to what I said. I don't buckle down for anybody in my mouth. Nobody can close my mouth off. As in an alteration in that, as in don't say that. Don't say. Well, when it happens to your child, you come back and let me know. Because I'll be the first one to laugh in your face to say to you how selfish you were on your end to not see what is in fact happening to all these missing children out here. That's facing reality in the dark. Yes, it is. That is in fact what that is. And not only that, that is so strange how when stuff happen to, have you ever noticed this? No, pay attention. Have you ever noticed when people go about their day-to-day life affairs, right? This light is irritating. When people go about their day-to-day life affairs, right? They go about their good day. They don't see no part of reality because they can't face it. It's too much tragedy, turmoil, right? They can't face that sort of thing. I'm not saying watching the news. You ain't got to watch the news every day. Other stuff is happening right around in your neighborhood, right? So, or even up the block down the street. They're having a good time and commotion and all this other stuff, right? And that everything else is happening to everybody around them and they fail to see it. They figure to themselves, well, it ain't me. That's not me. That's not my life. That ain't my tragedy. But then when it happens to them, they want everybody to stop everything that it is that they're doing to get involved. You see what I'm saying? I have a problem with individuals such as that. I, in fact, have a problem with individuals such as that because it shows selfishness on their end. Why would I stop everything I'm doing to get involved with your problem over there pertaining to your life and your children when you didn't see other people's children were, in fact, going missing and being killed? And some people's children being axed upside the head, as in cut, slashed. Their head falling off is what I'm trying to say, and somebody killing them in a brutal murder with that. What type of stuff is that? So you mean tell me you gonna wait till some tragedy in your family happen for you to even say something or get involved? What? That don't make sense. That in itself does not even make sense to me. And that will never make sense. Because see, we're all drawn to something. We are in fact all magnetized to something here on life. And that's what purpose represents. Whatever you are in fact drawn to, where it serves someone, even in turmoil, heartache, and tragedy, you are in fact intended to get involved in. And not just sit back and say, well, that is too bad on their end. That is just too sad and sick on their end. Because time and time again, I keep seeing that sort of thing. I keep seeing that actual thing. It has happened even in my own family, where people don't see such and such went through a devastating whatever, like how my father died, right? My father died in the way that he died, and you have some people, oh, well, that's just too bad, right? I'm the type of person, I take care of stuff myself. But these other individuals, some of them act like not family, just outside of family. They act like they didn't see anything outside of family. They act like they didn't see anything, but when whoever on their end died, father, whatever, it was just everybody needed to get involved, and everybody needed to stop their world, and everybody needed to stop everything they was doing just to come see what was happening. I'm like, are you serious? The value aspect, where's the value? Not money, not funds, no, human life. Where is the value aspect? Because as I stated before, I can sit right here on this YouTube, or what, if YouTube get bought out, Google, whatever, I can still be sitting on Asia Degree, silent as ever, in a room trying to figure out what, and then come back out later and stay. I can be sitting on even this trying to figure out to the day that I die. Didn't I say that before? Because that's how much the human life is. However, whoever think that I'm too obsessive, like I was called out last year on Twitter. And even when I was called out back in 2009, 2008, and I think in 2014 about being too obsessive with what it is I do, well, I just feel some of these individuals ain't obsessive enough, which is why their point in position is just failure and nothing beyond that. That is just so strange to me. If you ain't obsessive about anything, trust and believe you are in fact going to become a failure. Yes, you are. So you might as well take a measurement and size it on up and down pertaining to putting it towards something that has something to do with somebody, yes, valuable, even if they're dead. I'm saying, can't be offended about everything in life. That's a no-go. Because see, a person that get offended as in slighted by every little small thing in life that's going on in life, this whole politically correct type of mess, garbage, throw it away. Politically correct. Well, you can't say that. Well, why not? And you can't say that. Well, why not? You know what? I care not to know what I can and can't say, because I bypass that as well. Which is why I choose to put myself around real individuals who can take real things pertaining to real life. The trust and believe the chances are completely slim on even that, as in who can take real life. You can only hide away from real life for so long. I'm saying it has a way to creep up on you. Somebody in your family is going to more than likely end up dead or something crazy, right? And you would in fact get in line, as in get in touch back with reality. Didn't I say that on Twitter? Twitter, this one is in fact for you. I said that on Twitter. Because so many chose to unfollow me, and I don't care about that. What is a number? If I value myself and I got self-obsession issues to begin with, even in a like and discover on top of that. As in loving myself enough to not care about no numbers. Are you serious? Remember, numbers are in fact on the outside of you and not within. They just represent what you can do. But all power comes within. And even Oprah Winfrey herself knows that. To be a gunly figure is to say, without gun violence needed, no. But the rant, in fact, fits it. Yes, it does. This rant, this 50-minute rant, in fact, fits with this video. It completely is necessarily guided by the video in itself. Because, see, the video has everything to do with Asia Degree. And yet, not even enough videos is made in relation to even this. See, to have a scientific mind is to blend 2 or 3 matters together, even where it hurts. Dear presenter, yes. Sometimes you gotta say stuff. I'm known to provoke people. I light things on fire, and I'm not an arsonist, but with my mind, yeah, my mind and my mouth, I say things right. And which in life should never be stated, but that's in fact my purpose. Because if you can't face what needs to be faced, then what do you have? Just a life full of failures that won't come up. Come up sometime in life. These are in fact my videos, so nobody should be telling me, well, don't say nothing on an Asia Degree video. I say whatever I feel. Because if Asia Degree, wherever she might be in fact dead as an underground, I'm sure however old she will be today, she will more likely agree with me on this, pertaining to even her life. We're ass up, the alignment piece. The truth, and not being soft-spoken, pertaining to human life. And even forgiveness if the family had something to do with it. I'm sure even Asia herself will bring even a figure like me that is not afraid to say anything that's on my mind. Trust and believe. I say anything that's on my mind. I don't care who it is. I said it in front of police officers, FBI. Yes, I have. In the past, yes, I have. And didn't get arrested because I just didn't care. And I just don't care. Because these people out here living in society are living a little bit too fake. And that's why I don't care. I don't really like those sort of people. There are some people I have a tendency to judge and others I don't. Like when I said about the guy that shot up the school, he more than likely had mental illness. That Florida, what was that video I made pertaining to that young guy that shot up? I think his mother died of pneumonia. I think I made that video back in February or March. He went and shot up a school down in Florida, and I think his mother died of pneumonia and his father died or something, and he was known to be in the backyard shooting up stuff out of anger or whatever, right? And neighbors knew something was wrong with him or whatnot. Now, myself, I'm not going to judge him on that. Something was in fact wrong, and he fell through the cracks of the system of them knowing that, okay, his mother is dead. Somebody need to, in fact, come up and play as a legal guardian despite him being of age. Because more than likely he didn't think his age, right? So I can't judge him on that, but all these other failures and losers I can, because they need to be called out. You ain't doing what you supposed to. You ain't doing what you supposed to, walking around here blaming the white man. That's crooked failure in itself, let me tell you. And blaming whoever else. Blaming how people have failed you. How does wait a minute. How does people say the system has failed me and my child, or the system has failed? What? What type of sense does that make? Because, see, they're on the outside of you and not within. All self-responsibility comes from within, and it extends outwardly. See what I'm saying? That's a failure mindset. People got to step their game up. But I know for a fact, if an Asia Degree isn't dead or wherever she is at, a humanly figure transforming over to spiritual, if you believe in angels. Some people say angels and demons. I don't even believe in demons. I ain't got time for all that. I believe maybe they do in fact exist, but on my end, you see where I'm at, what I believe in. I believe on a spiritual aspect that we got demons in fact. Maybe that's the thing that they're speaking on, demons. I feel like if you're a doubter, then you got to get away from me, because you might in fact be a demon. So let me put it like that. But I feel that if Asia is dead, her spirit is still alive, she would in fact want me to say forgive others that have did what they did to her. I'm thinking the Asia Degree, because I'm a deep thinker, deep thought, and I love to be. That's how you become successful, even in that, right? A step outside. They call it paradigm shift. Paradigm shift. I just messed it up. But I'm thinking even Asia Degree with me trying to figure out what, right? Even if I never figure out, I'm sure Asia herself, because we're all blended in with the universe, would even say herself on my end that you should forgive whoever has done that to her, whatever it was. If she's dead, forgive them. And that, as well as not just forgiving them, but continue to make videos. That what, y'all was waiting on me to say something else? The elaboration process pertaining to spiritual realms, that's deep and heavy as well. I can forgive anybody, but I can't stop in my own tracks. of what I'm doing. That more than likely won't happen. That can't happen. That can't, just imagine, because see, there's even detectives out here, FBI, all type of people, sergeants, lieutenants. Yes, lieutenants, all of them. Many of them have in fact retired. They're all out here, and they're still investigating with many of these mysteries pertaining to even children and even grown adult women who in fact have just came up missing, and some of these cases are over 30 years old. So you don't give up in even that. You don't start something, say, well, somebody said that I'm spending too much time trying to figure out because they're a loser. Yes, dear God, universe, they're a loser. And and then on top of that, you ask them why they're all over you, while you're all over missing persons cases. You ask them, well, what are you doing in your free time? And they have nothing to show for even their free time. You see what I'm saying? Which is why it helps to keep going, and which is why it helps lieutenants and everybody else that solve some cases, the ones that do get solved, many of them retired. Listen to me when I say that. Yes, retired lieutenants, detectives, and everything else FBI have been known to solve crooked pieces in the cases where somebody left something or something crazy, where everybody else is saying, won't you just give up? Won't you just give up on that missing persons case? Well, what does that serve pertaining to human example of life, even you? That's a waste away strategy. The giving up aspect. I mean, it's good to want to pause or something like that, as in take a break, take a step back. Even I myself do that to clear your head. But so many people here in life just give up on everything that has nothing to do pertaining to no missing persons. They just are failures where they just give up on everything that they're doing. And they call out very obsessive people, successfully striking people. They call out us because they fail to use their free time on important things. I had to say what I said on Facebook with great intention. Oprah Winfrey herself says, speak with intention. If you're doing something just to do it, don't do it. If you're going to do something and you want to have meaning with it, you do it with intention, as in you do that sort of thing, as in have intention before you actually go up to something. Tried and true, yes. You say to yourself, or if other people are involved on the team, you say before, what is the intention? We have to in fact write this down, what our intention is going to be, as in the reason of us doing this, because even that plants the seed of guidance. The universe or whatever, or even yourself, if you like to pray to yourself, guide yourself, what results in that. The intention is the most valuable sort of thing pertaining to even missing persons cases. I watched the individual on the video. She don't like how many people are in fact making millions of videos, and I was one of those people that felt that same way when I stated, why would you make a whole bunch of missing persons videos and not delve deeper, especially when it comes to children? Because many people are in fact making money off the ads that play on the video, and how the one individual went off because somebody told her take the ads off the video. Like, why would you have a missing child be missing and then you're running 50 million ads on a video? Because the girl, she does makeup and hair and all that other stuff, and the person in the comment, they didn't like that, and I could agree with that. But not only that, somebody else that is in fact a YouTube celebrity, I got to talk back and forth with her about that sort of thing. When I first was looking at the whole Asia degree case, she didn't call out the Asia degree case itself. She called out one of these other girls that's got millions of followers making those sort of videos on her channel, pertaining to them not elaborating too like I did. But she had a hatred for it, because she's like, wait a minute, you guys are not really valuing human life. You're just making money. It's like you're almost collecting $1 off of a child's face, such as like an Asia degree, and then making $1 and then kicking the girl, or kicking, yes, not just Asia, but kicking all the missing children to the side. You don't do that sort of thing. With my videos, because how they are, more than likely I won't have ads run on these videos. I don't like that. I would rather, because how I do my stuff and I'm well organized and with the organization, yes, right, even in recruitment, their discovery. But I would rather not want to place ads on my Asia degree videos because I value her life too much. You see what I'm saying? There's a attention retention in that, even if these videos span too long and say people zone out and don't want to watch no more. I leave that up to them, but I don't want them tuning in and then 5 minutes into the video they're greeted by an ad. Didn't I state that on my other video? I don't like that, because then it almost looked like I don't even value her. I look at her as just a product or something. I don't like stuff like that. That's retarded if you ask me. It's completely retarded. As in, whoever did that, they in fact need a rebrand. They in fact need a rebrand. Because if you're going to be, I stated before, if you're going to be selling something pertaining to missing children, the best ad for a missing child video would in fact be the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Serve life, as in give back, as in even a proper branding, and even that. Reach out to those people, or reach out to the right advertising agency or whoever. Exploration to that in film, the nature, right, of putting the right ads on the right videos. There's in fact some control over that. Yes, it is. Don't think that there's, well YouTube controls everything. No, they don't. Because I control some of the say of even my stuff, even with not that many likes, because remember, I'm in marketing and advertising. I can in fact, yes, manipulate where up and down my videos go pertaining to algorithm. Yes, the man behind the scene, despite I'm a woman. People get mad at that as well, but I don't like that. I feel that if you can't really think that far, see, some people's thinking processes, they can't really delve that deeply because they're surface animals, as in them only being able to tap onto the surface level of, say, a missing child or missing person, but missing child more than anything. If you can't go that deep, then try to go deep just a little bit. You see what I'm saying? It helps to have a mind map in the description of that as well. A mind map is, you ever heard of a mind map? Some people learn that sort of thing in school. You draw a circle. If I was to create a mind map, and yet I have, I would in fact draw a circle, right? Draw a circle, put Asia Degrees name in the middle of that, and then I will build a web off of that. You see what I'm saying? And each person's, the string will extend outwardly away from her name, and put each individual in connection to Asia Degree within those, yes, the web itself. You're building an abstract web. Some people need to, yes, get up off their ass and quit being losers trying to show off missing children, because they ain't even doing it right. They're losers. They're in fact my competition, and yet there's no competition in this. And yet to say, where somebody called me out, where you are in fact too competitive, well so be it. To give back to human life is to in fact do it right, even with a mind map. And I ain't got time to make money off of any of this, because there's no good seed as in good deed, and even that, no, it's not. There's no that don't make sense. Am I not, or am I right? Hold on. Am I not doing this the way it should be? Or am I doing it the right way? Or am I not? That's a double entendre almost, is it? Or is it not? I just don't think money should be made off of missing children. I just don't think that sort of thing should. I don't like stuff like that. Like, I'm bothered by that. I'm completely bothered by that, because I don't think just because a self-righteous woman, say, putting on makeup and trying to be glamorized with 1 million followers, she got makeup on one end, right? On one spectrum of her videos are all makeup, and then all the rest of the videos are of 50 million missing children. I don't think that money on her end should be pocketed. I think that money should in fact go back to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Because see, if it wasn't for them and even for the FBI, we wouldn't even know about these children in the first place, right? I call out all steps of games, let me tell you, which is why I'm highly disliked, and I don't even care in that. Because I'm thinking if you really value a child, you would in fact give that money back. And that shows the mind of an individual. And even that, if I value a missing child as much as I say, and money is made, see, money, if you notice, no money is being made because there's no advertisements on these videos, and I have no interest in that. But say if money was coming in, that money still has to come. If, say for example, Asia Degree, I stated this before, the girl is missing. If say money was made on my end, that money has to in fact go towards some type of fund for her. And as sick and as gruesome as it sounds, if the family, am I paranoid in that? They could be watching this, right? But just in respect to even the young child herself, right? I might not even respect her family pertaining to if they did this. And yet I still would want, because of how I am, just the enemy in me, as some church folks call it, right? If money started coming, being made off my videos, I would in fact want that money to go back to Asia in a fund, as in given to her family, even if they did whatever they did, as in them built in whatever shrine that they're over there building, despite me feeling somebody over there is guilty. I would want something, because see, money can in fact be made off of Asia Degree herself. Yes, it can in fact be made, but at the same time, you use that money properly. You don't keep it. That type of thing I wouldn't feel right is say Asia Degree is in fact dead, and then I go and I start pocketing money off of that. That gives me some type of gruesome feeling in itself. I don't think I will be able to sleep with that, is what I'm trying to say, because like I said before, spirits are real. And you don't never know when a spirit might in fact creep up on you if Asia is dead and say, you know what, you ain't doing me right in this. You need to do something with my money properly. You don't know. And not only that, it helps, that would in fact help so many with the grieving process, as in the individuals that in fact love and cherish and admire that little girl. Despite however old she is now, you take that money, and I will give it to the family, find out a way to give it back. They probably hate me. And yet who cares? That's not spitting on anything, as in spitting on nobody's face, no. But I would in fact that's how you do that. You take the money, or say a missing person like a Asia Degree or anybody else, and you give it back towards the family. It might be just penny, nickels, and dimes, because YouTube don't pay that much anyway, unless say you got 1 million followers. People that got 1 million followers, I don't have respect for them if they're not giving that money back to those children's family. Why are you sitting benefiting off of somebody's grieving or mishap or whatever continuation pertaining to a story of someone's child? That just don't seem right. I don't think that would ever seem right in my eyes. I don't think that would ever seem right. When I said, well, you know what? When I said Asia's father might have did something to her or with her, right? Or Asia's mother might have did something to her, right? Even in that, on my end, maybe I have too much of a heart. Maybe I do have too much of a heart. But I just think if money was made on my YouTube channel off of Asia Degree, I have no choice but to give that money back to her family. Hell, if one of them go to jail, I guess they'll be using that money, the funds, if I had 1 million followers or even less. I guess that money will be used as their bail money. Who knows, right? But that don't seem right. That just, I don't like stuff like that. I just feel like to make money, because see, even in that, if an Asia Degree, whoever, could have been traumatically killed in the worst way of possibly a child could ever be killed. Like, you don't consider that? You got 1 million followers and you didn't take the time to consider just that? That even a child had to be grieving on the way to death? Like, you didn't consider that? And you might see that as chump change, or you might be making $1 million, and yet that has to go, that even has to go back to Asia herself, even if she's dead, with something. I'm thinking, if I calculate, if somebody has 1 million followers and they make an Asia degree missing persons video, and they're just making money just to take her face, right, and then kick her somewhere, like all these girls be making these little videos trying to be sexy. Get the fuck off the camera if you ain't saying nothing. That's in fact how I feel, my identity. Get the fuck off the camera if you ain't saying nothing, because nobody cares to hear. Because you don't value these missing children. No, you don't. If I calculate somebody making a missing person video and they got 1 million followers, that money should in fact be divided up, as in divvied up, and handed out to each family member, even if it's $10. $10. Boom, 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 boom. You get 10, I'm saying, depending on, because see, it's calculation as in money being made, having $1 million and handing that money out to grieving family members. Because if you're able to receive a payout through YouTube, then you should in fact be handing that back. Remember, you got 1 million followers. That money should be going back to something of some kind, because you're in fact making your earnings. As that girl said, she making her living when she told off the girl in the comment, told her, I'm making my living off these missing children. Girl, please. I should have told her off, but I don't have time for petty individuals like that, petty people. I don't have time for petty people. And not only that, I'm kind of bothered with, why would you, if you make a missing person or a missing child video, right, of these missing children, why would you need to have your face in the center of, say, the child and who could have did it? Why not just have the child there as well as the man, and then when the video start playing, everybody sees you? It's like you kind of put yourself too much in the situation, a turn off, as in that turns me off, stuff like that. Because it just seemed like it's not about the child. And I can sense even the awareness pertaining to that. I got heightened senses. In fact, heightened senses. Which is why I talk the way I talk. Because see, to see right through that, as in it's just a money-making scheme and nothing else, pertaining to many of these people that got millions of followers, of them making videos of off these children, is to see for what it is. It's in fact a money-making scheme. Capitalization on that. And I just called you out. And whoever get mad gonna stay mad, because you don't care enough for these babies, and even respecting the grieving aspect on their end, as in the way and the process of how many these babies have been brutally murdered by the hands, some of them even by their own loved ones, family members, brother, sister, cousins, whatever. Not just the Asia degree case, but many of them. They, in fact, some of these kids, in fact, grieve on the way to being killed, as in them knowing that that sort of thing is, in fact, coming. You see what I'm saying? And if you don't respect that process, you need to get off of YouTube. I don't like people like that. Dear universe, forgive me on that, but I just don't. Because that's what's wrong with the world. You can only capitalize so much off of people's grieving. You know what I'm saying? You can only capitalize so much off of grieving. It just, for me, I feel like if you're not going to give back to the family, even if they did kill the kid, right, and the money, if you don't give back, then, I mean, I just don't see what's the point. Because, see, mark my words, the very first day I start making money or anything crazy off of Asia Degrees family, mark my word, I gotta contact somebody, even in relation to that family over there, whether it's mother, father, despite them feeling however they felt about me. Hello, mother, father, Asia Degree's parents, I in fact have to give whatever. If I make a dollar dime right here on YouTube, I got to give all that money back to y'all, because y'all in fact birthed her despite whatever happened. You see what I'm saying? That's how that sort of situation, that just I don't know. That's almost kind of like an elaboration, don't bite the hand that feeds you, right? It just, that's a disgrace. That's a total outright disrespect to so many loving children, knowing that you can sit up here and get away with it for the simple fact you make videos, make a dollar or whatever, and then just say, okay, on to the next. Like, on to the next. What, another missing child to make another buck? Like, are you serious? Like, where's your heart at? And even that. That does not make sense. That completely, because see, some of these missing children, some of them have other brothers and sisters as siblings. You got what I'm saying? And the family could in fact played a part in the murder or something crazy like that, even pertaining to an Asia Degree case. But I still know that even she has a brother, right? Even that young child of today, a grown woman she would have been. But even if I made money on my end, I would think of something to, even if her brother has something to do with it, God rest the girl's soul, to try to put money even towards him, so he could either go to school, finish college, or something like that to better himself. Because I'm thinking in the grieving process of even the Asia Degree, that's what she would have wanted. You see what I'm saying? People don't even think logically in that. Well, I think if I make a missing persons video or a missing child video, I think, well, what would this missing person, if it was me and it was one of my children, or even just me and I was a child that say got brutally murdered or kidnapped or something, what would I want somebody to do for me? You see what I'm saying? What would I want an individual that's taking the time to get to know who I was or could have been, or who my family was or could have been, and them trying to solve, even with FBI and sheriff and chief of police, with them all trying to solve, how would I want somebody to say somewhat represent me on camera, on the playing field, or even a match pulling out one to say a clue, or even having a sibling, Asia herself, a brother? Because siblings do go to college, don't they? Sometimes they do or don't have money, right? So it makes sense to me to give money back. There's money on this. There's no money on this end being made. Let me correct that. There's no money on this end being made, because if there was, there would in fact be advertisements cutting you off here and there, cutting you off every 2 seconds, an advertisement, every 10 minutes, an advertisement, every 5 minutes, right? But I'm thinking many of these people is not thinking enough of that. People with 1 million followers, you got that many followers, and yet you can't even consider the blood relatives, even if they may have been involved, enough to give the money back. Because see, some of these kids may or may not have nothing to do with the missing person. Some kids in fact kill each other and then the family cover it, right? Accidents do happen, or purpose murders, right? But I'm thinking, if you got 1 million followers, a kickback, a something, right? When I mean kickback, I don't mean by legal terms, business terms, or how people think. I'm looking at the fact that you would in fact kick back on the give back to a sibling. Didn't I just say that? Or multiple siblings. That just don't make no sense for me to sit somewhere, make an Asia Degree video, not say anything at all, and then say make some money through an advertisement, knowing that she got another brother. She ain't even got a whole bunch of other siblings, and then have 1 million subscribers and not do a payout on her end, as in give her brother some. That shows a disrespect. Despite me disrespecting the family as I have, right? I'm sorry, my deepest apologies. But I just like to question everybody. But I'm saying, people out here are in fact struggling, including the family members of missing persons, where some of them might not in fact have did such a thing, such as killing their own. To divide the pie is to do just that. Giving and not always just thinking of yourself. People need to come off that. As in being, let me exalt thyself, and then just completely forget that, oh, did you know Asia has a sibling that she could in fact, yes, possibly want you to in fact give money to the sibling if you got 1 million followers? You got to understand percentages pertaining to the paradigm and all that. I do. Why wouldn't somebody else? Because see, that's a token in itself. A giving back during a grieving process, despite it being almost over 18 years. Some of these cases are old as 30-something years, right? But you would still want the family to have something. Because just because, say, one family member could have played a part in, say, a murder, the other family member might not have, right? Or whoever. And they're just grieving on their end. You would in fact want to give them a little token of something, because that shows an expression that you in fact do care. Where so many don't care. They don't care. They're just thinking about themselves. They're just thinking about themselves. I know Asia's mother and father, brother, they probably look at me as all type of ways. And they should, right? And the way how I stated on them, that was not really to tarnish their image. No, it wasn't. Because what they got to always remember is they're the first one even the FBI look at when stuff like this happen. Outsiders is going to do the same thing, but the outsiders are sometimes going to value your child sometimes more than you do if, say, you're guilty. But say if you're not, sometimes outsiders are also going to do the same thing, the very same thing, as in honor your child a lot more than honor the family. That's just human characteristics. Going for what you know as and what you think somebody could have did, or you could possibly be wrong. But it's the human value factor. What do you value? Do you value a child being in society, knowing that so many of them hold a voice, but so many of them don't, depending on the age and even race sometimes, as some people say? Somebody could say, well, you're making videos just enough to cover the family, as in them being able to, what you analyzing, say, cover them almost in a way with them being able to get away if they wanted to take the information and use it against FBI or something like that. People think all type of things. When I said whatever on Twitter and Facebook, well, they say, why would you do something like that, put out information, too much information? Yes, that's why I was questioning. Why would you put out so much information in the analyzation? Because, see, you mess up the actual case where even the degree family could use your information to cover themselves. But I'm thinking to myself, even if they're guilty, even Asia, as I stated before, how many times even Asia herself would want even me to forgive her family, despite what I said. As in a rest in peace, burial plot, or whatever you want to call, set on top even with that. People can do all type of things with information, right? Even take you to court. But as I stated before, my fact and precision behind all this is not to taint the family all like that. Because, see, my heart is truly in it, pertaining to the innocence of a child, whether it was taken away or was it not taken away. You see what I'm saying? I think a judge will be on my side even in that. As in me asking, formulating enough to ask. Because people could be all type of interested in gaining money and gaining all this and this and that. That is solely not me. I can care less. Somebody can say, you know what, I'm just going to put you over here with nothing but a quarter, yes, in the jar, and leave you, and you're not allowed to have anything else to the day that you die, right? And I say, well, give me some missing children cases. I'll in fact try to see what happened. Lead me to that, because money is not everything. But so many people in fact think that it is. Some people with money, they in fact make that their God in their world. That's why they're so unhappy. Some people want so badly to make a come up off of some dollars. Well, if I only had $1 million, my question is, well, what then? You ain't gonna do nothing for humanity with it, despite so many saying what they would do. I am in my, back in the day in my teens, I have been known to help. Yes, a pastor, yes, gave her funding. Yes, I did. As in to help build a church. I had money back then, back in the day. I had money. Not saying I'm broke today. I'm cool. But to give money to help build a church, that sort of thing. And I don't even go to church. And I stopped going to church long ago, even with that, for various reasons. But that was in fact to help humanity, because see, even that pastor was doing the right things by society, as in trying to help build society. I don't have respect for various types of people, and they know, and they should know. It helps to be a witness, and even that, as in the saying, where you disagree with others pertaining to petty materials such as money, and that being your only obsession. You're so obsessed with money you can't even see your own purpose as in what you're supposed to be doing. That is a no-go from the beginning, as in the money. Some people, it's best, for many of those individuals, it's best for them to stay and remain broke, because if you don't know how to even resolve little petty matters pertaining to big dollars, how are you going to in fact deal with big money? That's just a big headache just waiting to happen for so many. But yeah, I don't have any respect for these girls making these videos like that. That's why I in fact decided to get on YouTube and be a little bit different. Because I'm thinking even Asha herself, Asha Degree, I said what I said pertaining to her mom and her dad and her family, right? But I think even she would have wanted me to call out certain things just pertaining to a case, period. Why would you walk backwards to look into something and then not look at the source head on? Because see, the mother and father over there, even if they were, say, truly mad at me or pissed off, they would have to offer some forgiveness, and even that on my end, because to not be able to know on my end is to not know, right? But they know whether they're guilty or whatever, right? Parents of children that go missing, they know whether they're guilty or faulty. We all at times in life are guilty or faulty, or both, or all in between, right? So I'm just serving justice on the end of Asha herself. That's all I'm doing with these videos. I'm serving some type of justice, just like whoever is serving justice with the blog that started the Finding Asha Degree blog, just as like so many that have started the Asha Degree podcast or Asha Degree web sleuths and all that. You serve justice in the process, even if nobody's going to jail. Because see, how should I word this? I feel, despite me being angry from the beginning, despite me being very angry from the beginning, if it was me, when I think about it now, if say Asha family did, the mother or the father had something to do with it, if there was no remorse, I would in fact like send them to jail, right? That's just me. But say if there was in fact remorse, or something happened in the way that they didn't mean to, then I wouldn't want them to go to jail. Does that sound bland and blah? How I just said that? if Asia's parents had something to do with it, right? And say, I know FBI would probably be mad about me saying something like that, but say if Asia's parents had something to do with it, right? Or her brother, or all three, or whatever, right? And say that wasn't the purpose, intention of them doing that to that young child, say killing her, something like that, and wrapping her body in a bag or throwing her away, right? Like her book bag was. If it wasn't intended murder, and say if it was an accident or it wasn't intended in that way, then I more than likely wouldn't want them to go to jail. I wouldn't. I would in fact protect them on that end, is what I'm trying to say. Even in the grieving abstraction. I know it sounds contradicting, but I would have to question and ask myself, what will be the purpose and intention of, say, somebody murdering and possibly burying a child or getting rid of her body in the first place, right? That's why I ask the questions in which I do. Because somebody might say, well, yeah, well, if it was an accident, I would want them to go to jail anyway. Not me completely. The parents, I'm saying. FBI would be mad, sheriff, chief of police, if it was an accident on, say, one of the parents' end, then I in fact wouldn't want them to go to jail. I wouldn't, when I think about it right now. Because see, even accidents are prone to happen. I'm not talking about people outside, as in somebody, say, running her over or something like that. I'm talking about what I spoke about when I made the videos pertaining to if a mother, Asia's mother or father, could have did what. If it was an accident, I wouldn't want them to go to jail. I'm saying if they covered whatever and it was a possible murder by accident, because it does, stuff like that does happen, right? The only reason I'm saying that, because I'm thinking if it was me on my end and I murder somebody by accident, would I want to go to jail? Would I want people to send me to jail? And would I want people to say, distort the truth about me, despite what I said? Yes, despite everything. It sounds like a great contradiction, doesn't it? Because I'm pointing in on example of accident. Whoever did what? The parents. If they were in on whatever and say they did it by accident. I'm thinking how if an accident happened in that house and say it wasn't purposely intended, then would I myself in fact cover over an Asia degree case? Would I do that sort of thing? I'm thinking I possibly would, only if it was an accident, only to serve justice towards Asia. You see what I'm saying? Because all type of things happen. Real life happens. There have in fact been theme parks where children have fell off of rides and stuff like that and have been killed. One little boy was decapitated. He came down the ride right real quick and flew up in the air because it was two overweight individuals on the ride with him. They were overweight capacity, and the little boy was decapitated. Yes, his head, right? But you feel grieving matter pertaining to if something is, say, an accident. There has to be some type of forgiveness process of even that. Say an accident. If family did it. So I'm thinking to myself, not just an Asia degree, but any missing children, how would they feel if an accident happened, say, in that home? How would that missing child feel? Supposedly missing child. If, say, an accident took place and, say, the parents were responsible for that sort of thing. What would the missing child, supposable missing child, what would they in fact think of you gathering clues and trying to fit pieces together and say that sort of thing happened in the middle of the night? One of the parents got mad or anything and, say, possibly killed her by accident, right? I think I would work the case in the sense of possibly maybe covering or something. I don't know. On their behalf. People might in fact get mad at me and think, well, that's wrong. I would still want, no, that's not wrong. Because any one of us are prone to, say, commit a murder by accident there's other words for murder when it's an accident, right? There's in fact things, even in that, a ways of covering, even for others grieving family members, right? Where something like that could have taken place. I would in fact not say, let me think, if it was an accident, because see, I didn't question that too much, right? How would I do, what would I do if say it was an accident on their end? And say if guilt stood on the family's end, I wouldn't want them to go to jail. I wouldn't. Because see, I wouldn't even be able to be beside myself. Is that a term, phrase, right? I wouldn't want them to go to jail. I don't know why that is, right? But I keep sensing even that in the examination. If one of her parents killed her by ways of accident, despite everything I said, I wouldn't want them to go to jail. I just wouldn't. That just because, see, any of us can walk out our house, do something, like say run over a child or something by backing up in the driveway or something crazy like that and not seeing them. That sort of thing happens as well. There's all type of accidents that are prone to in fact happen. And there's nothing, the only reason why I say that is because there's nothing worse than, say, running over your own child. That sort of thing has happened. Yes, it has, with little babies in the driveway. That's why too, in fact, cars now has those sensors and you can see in your dashboard where you're backing up because of so many deaths from that, right? But I think it's nothing more worse in a grieving aspect of, say, if an accident played out in the home of a child, and say that happened, and then you set more grieving on top of it by, say, calling somebody out, right? But despite me making 50 million videos, I still have made the videos in the way that I did, the form and fashion, because to play a whole story out is to do that, including examination and you releasing stories. That sort of thing has to in fact have to be made tying in with the story aspect, or even who she was or could have been or possibly was on the way to becoming if whatever didn't happen, right? The gruesome matter. But yeah, I would in fact, if I found out that accident played out, or if FBI, then I would in fact walk away and even apologize to the family, or even where I made an error or wrong or a boo-boo or something, right? But I just couldn't see me on my end still spitting in their face of if it was an accident. Now if that was purpose, that's a whole different thing. But I'm just saying, if something was accident, because you do got some people that will take public scrutiny a bit far when, say, a family do something and it's an accident, where people will still continue to point fingers and say, well, you shouldn't have did whatever, you shouldn't have whatever, and you deserve to go to jail, right? But in some obstacles, not completely so. Because at any time of the day, any one of us flawed beings could do something completely devastating and wrong, as in mess up something, right? On our own end or something, right? Accidents are always prone to happen. Even miscommunication on my end is prone to happen, where I tell people the truth without being disguised, right? But yeah, on my end, I would, yeah, in fact, apologize if it was a accident. I would. And if I started to make money on my YouTube, which I don't like stuff like that, it just I be trying not to get angry. I'm naturally hot-headed, for those that don't know. Certain things just piss me off. Certain things is just a complete no-go. That's an obstacle course even going in discussion and the motion of talking to me about those sort of things. It blinds even me. Why are you making money on YouTube with missing persons videos? Because I'm going off lane because I'm getting mad again, agitated. But I'm thinking, if you make a YouTube video pertaining to missing children, shouldn't you actually be pointing those individuals that's watching you in the direction of, say, a missing persons organization? To see through on a clear view is to see all the way through. As in a hound. As I'm right now hounding. Rewinding my own tape. If I'm making missing person videos, I just got all off course, didn't I? If I'm making missing person videos, why would not, in fact, point the viewers and the listener viewers, everybody, in the direction of a missing persons society or organization? Because it's, in fact, a money-making scheme. See what I said? That, in fact, is what that is. If you can't look and see through things for what it is, remember, I worked in mass media. I can see at a glance what something is. To sell a face of a missing persons, missing children, more than anything, missing children, and not actually funnel those funds as in to the family, or even point the viewer in a direction pertaining to advertisements, point them in the direction of, say, a missing persons organization. To not do that is to, in fact, say it is a, yes, it is, on the elaboration, it is, in fact, a money-making scheme. It's, in fact, a big money-making scheme, if you don't know. And I just called that out. That's detail on the retail. I just said what it was. And I don't care who listening. People can't sit around me for too long because I get mad about certain things. You mean tell me I'm watching a missing persons video and yet L'Oreal is popping up? Are you serious? Who wants to see that? I want to see something that pertains to human life, is what I'm trying to say. And not just some fickle type of waste away of where you can't keep up in Hollywood and now you got Botox, but now all that's falling out pertaining to the liposuction, or where you're now falling off, right? So many of them do in Hollywood. Or even these girls that's trying to make up many of these girls that's making these missing person videos are, in fact, trying to make a come up and a quick buck in Hollywood by using missing persons on their channel, such as children's faces. Yes, they are. That is, in fact, what they're doing. You just don't know that they're doing it. And yet I do. Because to see and have worked in Hollywood is to know what the game is, as in how it can be flipped and all that other stuff. Animated and all that, where even you, the viewer, are not able to recognize and see what many of these girls are, in fact, doing, and yet they're not telling you. It helps to be the example, as in me, leading by example. You got advertisements, and then they got an advertisement, a L'Oreal ad and all that. YouTube is not completely controlling that. No, they're not. Because some of these girls are, in fact, working with L'Oreal and all these other people, right? My thing is, why not save that for your makeup videos? You're promoting with L'Oreal on Instagram, as well as making money, whatever. Yes, that's branding and all that other stuff. What, and you're doing that, selling that on Instagram. Why not keep that on Instagram? Or, you know what, why not make a totally different YouTube channel, as in have your L'Oreal and all your face whatever on one thing, and then you have missing children on another thing. But most of them can't sell, which is why I'm saying they wouldn't be able to make a come up in even that. Because most of them don't even know what they're doing to begin with. It just sickens me. They're using human life as a platform to sell themselves, right? And yet they don't even show enough respect in that. As in, give light where it's already been taken, as you should. The right way. Why would I want to sit back? I'm thinking, if I'm going to watch any missing persons video, I want to watch it all the way through. As in seeing because that makes it more lifelike. You see what I'm saying? That makes it more lifelike of me not watching no advertisements, knowing that I'm trying to see, well, what happened to this missing child. Because an advertisement just blocks you and locks you all the way out. Yes, it does. By the time it done played, you're like, you know what, I'm over this. Why is this advertisement here? But to make it more graceful would in fact to put a national center for missing and exploited children advertisement or something there to allow that to play. Because see, somebody might actually favorite or bookmark that sort of thing. Once the advertisement come through, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, they might in fact want to take part in that and not L'Oreal. Because see, L'Oreal, many of them commit schemes on their own end as well as those big major CEO products and branding, right? I've had enough of that as well. The focus should be children from here on out, where so many fail to see. I think that's all to be said for now. I think that's completely all to be said for now. I know what is and what ain't. And in fact, I don't take what is at face value. I never do. Because to do just that is to become a failure, and even that, let me tell you, because to take things at face value is to be led all type of ways. And possibly, yes, even in darkness, spiritual darkness, not pertaining to Asia, no, but spiritual darkness as well, and I don't mean religion. You got to be well aware as in open your eyes, being able to see where so many of these people are trying to strategize and make a money and nothing else off these missing children. I don't have respect for those sort of people. They need to know. They need to know. They in fact always need to know. I would say it in every video if I could, but that would make the video too long. But this video, you would in fact press play and see. But I think that's, yeah, I'm about to close this out. I just don't like stuff like that. I do not. I don't like stuff. I'm completely, oh my gosh. Is obliterated a word? Obliterated? Is it obliterated? Will something take over you where you just be fixated in anger, the way that the world operate and people be doing stuff, even in them trying to sell and market themselves? I'm thinking to myself, why you gotta use missing children? Why can't you use something else? Is it because you can't sell or something? Some of these girls, because I'm thinking it, okay, if I was to calculate down the views with some of these girls selling L'Oreal and having advertisement, 50 million advertisements running on their missing children videos, I'm thinking there's possibly no way for them to make any type of money. So that must be why they had to in fact do missing children or something. Something about that is not right, as it stands completely off or something. I'm thinking to myself, we got 1,000,001 products out here, and you ain't got no mind on how to solve anything as in a puzzle piece that shows loose screws as in a mind you're not being able to solve, but you want to take the chance to advertise some videos on some missing children, and yet you can't even solve a case or a crime. You can't even try to solve a case or a crime. That's a small, simple mind. I said it before and I'm gonna say it again, because if they could disrespect if they can disrespect the value of human life, then that shows something is in fact wrong with them. Why would you even try to put your face to a missing person's face and video and air it on YouTube and have it all around the globe for millions of people to watch it, and yet not teach them something in the process, such as how to solve something? I'm into solving. From the moment I wake up, my intention is completely on problem solving something. I don't care what it is, as long as there's a benefit to humanity, society as a whole. That's the focus, pertaining to business, organizations, and all that other stuff. Because see, even Asia videos, despite me, whoever not like me doing these videos, people have told me, yes they have, to my face, they don't like me doing so many Asia degree videos. Well, fuck off on even that, right? Because even the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children would love to in fact see my videos. They might in fact watch some of these videos and invite me on their team. You never know. It helps to put yourself out there as an aware and care, and not just being a shallow thinker and pissing somebody off like me, as in you're just thinking about yourself. We all understand life can be trying. Yes, it is, right? But to serve somebody like a national center for missing and exploited children, I would in fact join a team like that, because they're about real life. They're about real substance. They ain't around sitting around here entertaining people all day that can't face reality. Them people are some very well, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children are in fact some very well versed people. Let me tell you, they're very well versed. There's a lot of people retiring out of the game, helping to figure out what happened to missing children and the sex trafficking. I was going to do that years back anyways, pertaining to many children that are, say, not abducted by their parents, but they're trafficked, tied in with sex trafficking. That was going to be my lane back in 2014. But other stuff came up, right? There was a lot of things that came up. Even school came up. A lot of things came up, right? But I think now is in fact a time. I keep myself around very well-versed people. Sometimes we don't always agree. Business people, business professionals, sometimes they don't always agree because I'm very vocal, but one thing I can say is they in fact take what I have to say into consideration. They bypass the anger and all that other antics that I in fact impose when I'm doing stuff. I can get very heated, angry, and going off with remarks. But they in fact bypass that, because even many of them are known behind the scenes to do the same thing. I would ask a Oprah Winfrey about that. As in how Oprah is known to get angry sometimes. I would in fact ask her in a personal question, or even that. Many business professionals are known to get very highly angry and vulgar behind the scenes with their mouth and saying stuff and not letting it meet the public eyes, depending on even many of them having million viewers and followers, and they should, because sometimes to not get angry, mean, bitter, and frustrated is to in fact lose out on the game of life. You gotta be bold and not timid in life, is what I'm trying to say. You gotta face the frontal piece, because so many people can go and try to hide and dim the lights even in that. Well, I go, life is a little bit too real, so I gotta hide away. No, life has a tendency of drawing you back. Let me tell you, it will make you in fact face it where you don't want to face the devastating details, or even what could happen to some of these young children that are in fact getting entrapped in sex trafficking cases. Yes, as in other people forcing them to be sex slaves and whatever else, and cracked out on drugs. Life would in fact slap you upside the head where you don't want to face real life and you're too afraid to face that sort of thing. People that get involved, we're known to cuss everybody out, cuss all type of things out. Even business professionals pertaining to what it is that needs to be said. Some things just have to be said. To the softies, I'm saying. To these people that practice political correctness, social niceties, and all this other bullshit. People that try to be covering up stuff of, oh, don't say that. That is so not nice. Well, you, once again, are in fact the reason why society is so fucked up. That isn't true. That's completely the truth. Because to be too soft is to in fact get ran over by life itself. Because what I come to notice, oh my God, dear universe, whatever, what I've come to notice that individuals that come across too soft and too whatever, too nice sometimes, them are the same individuals that in fact get ran over by real life. And they sometimes don't find themselves making their way back, pertaining to coming back from devastation. As in them feeling like life is standing on their face. Because they become too soft. You can't do that sort of thing. Not with everything and not with every situation or ordeal. Life would in fact drag you. If you don't know, ask Les Brown, the motivational speaker. I love him. He's a boss. Les Brown, he will tell you life would in fact drag you. A lot of people will tell you that. Oprah herself will tell you. So I think that's all to be said about that. To be too soft is to get dragged. That's the truth.